Good morning, everyone. All energized after a long weekend? All right. So I would like to start the global event, backing up already, who is out of town. We have our panelists today, Liz, and then, the moderator. And we have our panelists, Fara, please come and take a seat. Hannah Chan, Mustafa, Andrea, and Joe Matthews. Any RRAR leadership members here? We see Dave, our CEO here, welcome. Dave. Now we are also here for our campaign, You Belong Here. This is for the new members, but otherwise I would call it We Belong Here. Right. Then, let me introduce with our panels for the global today. Fara, she was the past year's Global Advisory Committee Chair. I know you wanted very passionate. Fara and then Hannah before. Very, very passionate people who actually brought our global to a top-notch level, which we are now trying to catch up and make sure that we don't lose the standards what they brought in. And Fara also is now the chair of NC Realtors Global Network. So she got a promotion. She is a first generation American who relocated from Iran to first New York and now calls North Carolina as a permanent residence. Very, very passionate lady, and I don't think we will get someone so passionate in the global and then doing everything for us. Hannah, I don't need to introduce her. Everybody knows her. She is so passionate about what he does for the global community, and everyone who relocates here, moves in, she's always there to help and say, hey, we're all here together to do something good for the community. Hannah came to US in 2001. She has held numerous volunteer leadership roles and enjoyed giving back to her local community as a realtor and business owner. Please welcome Hannah. And Mustafa Ozturk was born in Turkey and played professional football. Wow! While attending law school at Marmara University. His passion for people and building relationships led him to real estate. So much of a transformation, right? Yeah. He's proud to call Raleigh his home and take advantages of all the city of Oaks has to offer. So, altogether, Mahungu, I don't want to spell wrong.
You said it, you're correct.
Prides herself as someone who can always assist her clients in navigating the complexities of buying and selling real estate. She loves working with diverse groups of individuals, the Democratic Republic of Congo being one. Wow. Welcome everyone. Joe Matthew, again, somebody from Asian origin, Indian origin, we don't need a special introduction for him. We call him Madhuban. The place where he comes from, Kerala, we call Malus. They have a special, sorry if I'm boring, but they have a special attire. They wear it in a white cloth.
It comes from the language Malayalam, so people call it Malayalam.
But they are very passionate about the clothes. They wear white clothes, always white. Even for the bridegroom is all white with jasmine flowers, and we really enjoy how they perform. And they also are very good fans of booze.
Good result.
Originated from the state of Kerala in India. I tell you, Now this actually brings me one more point. Do you know where the most of the retirees from US and other countries are relocating to India? That is state of Kerala, the state where you hail from.
Wow.
One beautiful country, beautiful place with all greenery, and if people love spices, that's where we get cardamom, the black peppers and everything from. They integrate with coconut trees, they just grow around, and lovely place you would like to spend. Before becoming a full-time realtor, he worked in finance at IBM. He now has over 30 years of experience in the real estate industry where he loves working with people to achieve the dream of home ownership. Now I would like to hand over to our moderator, Liz Simon, one of our global members who will be moderating. She's originally from St. Lucia. I was just asking her where that country is, and she says further south of Caribbean. One of the time we need to go and visit her place. She worked in the computer development industry before retiring in 2021, and she has had her real estate license since 2008. Please welcome Liz.
Welcome, everyone. I will be the moderator today. And what we will do is we'll ask the panelists questions, and halfway through we'll stop for some audience participation. I don't want to wait till the end because then you might get a little restless, right? Okay, so the first question, of course, before I ask the first question, how many people are from another country or your parents are from another country, were born in another country? All right? How many people think that they have had clients who were from another country? All right, excellent. So you're in the right place. And some of the information that you will hear today, you will realize that we all share something in common. We all want to respect everybody's culture. We want to make sure that we're sensitive. Sometimes we'll hear people say strange things that's strange to us. And we want to make sure that we're respectful of it, that we don't make fun of some of the things that they say they want in a home or they don't want in a home. And so those are the things that we need to be aware of, and hopefully we'll get some tips from our wonderful panelists today. So this first question, give us a quick 2-minute story of how you got started working with clients from different countries, what interested you, and maybe some takeaways from your experience. So because of we only have an hour, I said 2 minutes or less to make sure that everyone has a chance to speak. Okay, anyone, good start.
I'll go because I'm going to be easy. Yes, I'm from New Jersey. She told everybody, say where they were from. I'm just a Jersey girl. So I'm from the United States. But I started working with internationals even before I received my real estate license. I wanted to help people, and I married an African man, and so that's how I kind of got connected to the African community and began to help in that way. And so, and it's just really grown from there, just really connected with him. But I would just say that even if I did not get married to an African, I'm a lover of people. So I meet people at the grocery store. I meet people all the time. They say, I know you too. And we're trying to figure out. And it's really that we just met by the oranges. You know, so we the oranges or the watermelons, trying to figure out what's watermelon. So sometimes I'm meeting people, they know me, I know them, and it's just that we met in produce. So I think just being open to the different cultures, wherever you are, is helpful in making those connections.
All right. Okay, thank you. All right, anyone else?
I can go next. Obviously I'm an immigrant, so it was easy for me to find other, people that mostly at the beginning like me. And then I was in a restaurant business for a long time in New Jersey. I started a restaurant business with my family. I have 2 brothers, which they still are in a restaurant business up in New Jersey. So, you know, every day your life is just meeting with new people from all, I mean, different cultures. Everyone eats, right? I mean, so, you know, just like everyone needs a house, it's the same thing. So it was just easy, and it's very natural. And knowing the struggles of coming from another country as a teenager and trying to, you know, have that dream that you're gonna have a house, you're gonna have a car, that some people back in your country would never even dream of. You know, it just drives you to meet with other people and help them out. So that's how I got involved.
Okay. I came to the country in July of '82. Okay, a few years ago. Then I got a job with IBM in '85 in Charlotte. As soon as we bought our first home in '88, I believe 87, '88, I took a liking to real estate. So during my free time on the weekend, I will simply go and see $1 million home. Those days, million means, you know, you can't even look from far. So, but I used to see all kinds of homes, especially the higher priced homes, which, you know, very, very rare. So I went and took my license in '91. So 33 years ago. Then started working in IBM. It's not like today, you know, you have to go to the office and you cannot say you are in real estate also. Nowadays people openly advertise at workplace, but those days it's totally secret. You cannot say you're a realtor. So you are at work and doing work for IBM. But anyway, so I sold very few homes from 91 to 97. And 97 we moved to this area, to Apex and then Cali. So that time that I saw more of, especially, you know, mostly with Indians, but anybody, but most of my clients are Indians. So the words started spreading, because those days there was only, I think there was only one other agent, Indian agent. One part-time and one full-time. Now there may be 100. Yeah, maybe one every day. In 2000, by 2000 it was getting, you know, busier, and in 2003 Cisco transferred a lot of people here. So I had an Upchurch farm in Cali. I had 7 homes by Cisco clients moving from San Jose to here. Then I knew I cannot continue to, you know, I cannot do real estate and I cannot be fair to IBM. So I quit IBM in 2005. So there was a good, thank God, it was a good takeoff time, you know, 2005 and 6, what happened in the market, it was booming. So I could build a base there, then of course 2008, 9, but so from there it started, you know, basically word of mouth. And I enjoy, because, you know, of course, obviously each, you know, country, I mean, people from each country, they have their own likes and dislikes, and so I kind of connected, and going from there, that's how I got into real estate and deep into real estate.
Thank you. Okay, so I can share. So I think one book actually really changed my career and my path. So when I was still in California, when I first moved to the United States, I was in the Barnes & Noble. So I saw there's a book, Asian guy, it's called Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Oh, maybe this book is teaching me how to find a rich dad. 25 years ago, then I opened this book because, hey, we don't want to work hard, we want to work smart. So when we opened this book, The Rich Dad, I said, hey, I don't have a rich dad. How can I find a rich dad? Actually, the secret is in American real estate. That's a secret nobody knows. And I was, as a new transplant immigrant from Hong Kong, what we call, you know, just like the house is so much more expensive than, you know, in United States. We have one condo, maybe 10 million, okay? But this is where we look at the real estate. But then, fast forward, we moved to North Carolina in 2005, and then at that time, everybody's selling real estate, and I was like, oh, I will never afford, but the home price compared to California is 1/5
So, and then fast forward 2009, all the housing market is like the subprime bubble, nobody's selling. So we see the opportunity, and then I start, investing. Guess what? When you're investing, your community, your neighbor, your friend is calling you. Hey, Hannah, can you help me buy some cheap houses? So what you believe and you're going to preach, and this becomes the business or the motor, because you believe in it, you practice, you're doing well, and you find your American dream. Guess what? Everybody wants what you got. So you are preaching what you did and you accomplished. So I'm not trying to encourage you guys, just help people sell house, buy house. But most important, as a realtor, you need to believe in what you are selling. If you are renting, you ask people to buy. What are you telling people? You have to able to make not only a business, but a career, and most important, you know really well this whole, not number, not finance, but what is the reason why so many people can make their financial freedom by investing in real estate. So I think this is something that you need to walk the walk and talk the talk. So
very good. Okay.
Let's try to put in 2 minutes. Thank you everyone for being here. This is exciting time that we are together. As everybody mentioned, the back story, mine is a little bit different. I'm coming from Iran. I came 33 years ago. If you don't know where is Iran, you can turn on the news and know what's happening there. So as a woman, I was living, I came as a student NYU 33 years ago, and I studied there. I got my bachelor from there, and got married, and then September 11 happened. I was pregnant 9 months. My son, firstborn, was September 25th. That's 2 weeks after September 11. I was this much pregnant. So we decided after a few months to move to North Carolina, be closer to my husband's family. So that's what we did. Since I didn't want to stay home and do nothing, I had to do something. I did lots of volunteer work. I got involved in my community. I speak Farsi. I have a little accent. That's why it is. So I became a principal of the Triangle Persian schools for 6 years. And while I was there, I was doing some personal investment. Was very interested in real estate back home. My parents, my dad, always was into real estate, and then I got interested to it. While I was doing, people were watching me, and they keep pushing me, why don't you go to become a realtor? We really love you, we trust you, you're our principal, you can do great. So by then I had 3 kids. My youngest was 4 years old, 2 boy and a girl. So being a mom and a little bit of type A personality, I tell my kids I'm B or D. They said, no mom, you're 100% A. So I tried to do my best. 2016 I got my license. But since I'm one of those go-getters, I always try to educate myself, be outside, learn more, and try to have expectation from myself, high standards. So I was, with the help of wonderful people and mentors, I got higher and higher and higher. And right now, I have a privilege to working with all these wonderful people. My amazing big Renee is right there. Great as an association that we have, past president Teresa. I greatly appreciate your support. So our story is different. We're just here to be empathize with other cultures, learn from them, respect them as much as we can, and learn. And we know better, we can serve better. That's all. I always tell everybody.
Okay, so that first question was the introduction, so you were allowed to speak at length. However, we have a lot more questions to go through, so kind of be short on those responses. Many of us may have experienced family dynamics and cultural norms when we show buyers or we have sellers, and I want you to, you could all speak, or a few of you could speak on that. Give us some tips and strategies on how to navigate situations with family cultures and those type of things, family dynamics. I don't know if you've ever had a buyer, you have a call, you make an appointment, and when you get to the address, there's like 10 people with them, and you're thinking, who are all these people? But it's the grandmother, the grandfather, the aunt, the uncle, the child, everyone is there. And I was suspected maybe 2 people, So tell us a little bit about who would like to address that one. Okay.
The main thing is when you're dealing with someone from other culture, just kind of trying to get to know them a little bit, watch, instead of doing the talking, just, listen, lay back, let them go first. You go up the house, they take your shoes off, you take your shoes off. You sit at a dinner table, or if that's where they invite you, you kind of see what they do first. So we all like that. I think, in general, I can say that most real estate agents, from my experience, what I've seen, we're confident, we know a lot, we want to show that, and we want to show off when it's a client, but sometimes I think just, kind of sitting back and listening and letting them lead, you'll have all your answers.
Okay, anyone else? One more person.
Yeah, talking about the culture and and the specific needs of the people, understanding. I know that most Indian families, they're for a son or daughter to come to the US and buy their first car. It used to be Toyota, but now it is Lexus. Okay, and have their first home and bring the parents home. That's the ultimate dream. Okay, and so most of the parents come for at least 3 months, maybe 3 to 6 months. So it is almost essential to have a house with a guest bedroom and a full bath on the main floor. That's a deal breaker. You could have the best home in the world, but if you don't have a bedroom and full bath down, at least potential to convert. People are ready to spend another 15,000 to convert a half into a full bath, but if there is no space, especially if it's not on a crawl space, it's difficult for an Indian buyer to buy. I mean, again, but they have to watch the budget. To have a house with a bedroom and bath down, we are talking about at least these days at least 500. It used to be 300. So once you have that, understanding and guiding the clients to, when they ask for to buy their house, I try to find out their requirements. And even if they don't volunteer to tell, I say, how about a bedroom and bath down? Oh yeah, that's So that just helps. Then of course with Indian culture, you have to look at the vastu, the direction the house is faced.
Yeah,
I mean that's a whole complex set of things. But there are some basic vastu that we have to keep in mind.
I like that point.
Otherwise we'll be wasting a lot of time showing them all the homes, and you find the best home in the world, but it's facing south.
Right. So I guess, would you say that as realtors, we need to know the basic needs of each culture, just in case they forget to mention it to us? We could see that's important.
Take time, because you'll be investing that 40 minutes or an hour. That's a good investment to find out what they need.
Yeah.
Sit down, maybe meet them at the Starbucks and talk to them and understand them, and that will help to avoid a lot of wasteful trips and homes and all that.
Okay, that leads to my next question. We know that one of the things we have to do with our clients is to build trust. Is there anything different or extra we need to do with in the cultural area? How to build trust? Yeah.
I would say definitely respect is number one. And a lot of the clients that I deal with are feeling like they don't know what's going on. They don't want to say the wrong thing. So you want to definitely be respectful. You want to be patient. You want to ask. Sometimes you have to ask. My clients won't ask twice. They won't ask twice. So even if you tell them something, they'll say okay. They don't understand, but they don't want to ask again. They won't ask twice. So you have to say, do you understand what I'm saying? And then you say it a different way. You try and say it a different way so they can put it a different way to see if that helps with them understanding. So I would think respect and patience. And for for me to I have to slow down because I talk really fast. So now I'm talking, is this too slow for you? For me, it's very slow, but to some people say that's a perfect thing. But because I talk really fast, that's what I have to work on, slowing down and respecting and being patient with them. For me,
I can talk about the trust. They know that you're realtors, you're gonna sell houses, buy houses, so don't talk about that just about real estate. Be a little bit friendly, talk about other stuff, spend time with them. Meal, go dinner, lunch, anything, do things for the kids, anybody, just offer, just be sincerely offer. If you be sneaky, they gonna smell it so much. Spend time, sometimes it just, for some client, it takes lots of time and effort and investment, but it's investment. Look at it like that, you're seeding something, you gotta water it, you gotta get the sunshine, you gotta sing for it. Anything that he wants to do it, but just don't think that the trust is gonna come because you're a fantastic agent. It's gonna come because you're a nice human being.
yeah.
Especially I can talk about the foreigners. They come to this country because of the trust they gonna accomplish from the United States, so they expect that from the people also. So if you be patient and spend quality time with them, the trust automatically is gonna come.
So the key here is good customer service and taking an extra step, going the extra mile, and respect. So that leads to the next question. The questions just lead to each other. So in working with international clients, have you had to adapt your style, your approach? What language barriers have you encountered that you think is important for us to be aware of?
Okay, so absolutely. So I think a lot of the foreigner, for them, English is really not their mother tongue. So even though they can read, but everything they need to translate, every price tag they need to divide it by 8 or by say 7. So they will be more slow. So if you already have kind of like not really prepared, then for the contract you have to explain in the term because the way you're doing back home is totally different. So that's why you really need to treat yourself as a teacher or educator, because they just don't know. And then they expect, oh, if I don't like the house, can I back out? Oh, is the attorney is real attorney? Maybe there may be a fake attorney. So that's a lot of the, the question you listen is like, what? But that's how they do it, and then their help maybe is not just buying a house, but you will find out you become their personal assistant. But the good thing is when you invest in one client, they will bring you tenfold because you actually investing in the community. Maybe the first 1 or 2 years you don't see anything, but they know you understand them, and the trust is over time.
Anyone else? To that one? I am a certified ESL instructor for Wake Tech, so I teach ESL to students. And one of the things I've noticed with international students is that when we speak English, and most languages, when they speak very rapidly. I mean, they just go on, right? And we don't realize that when we speak, our words connect to each other. So we don't really stop and pronounce each word. But I do that in class. So my students tell me, oh, I understand everything you say. But I warn them, in the real world, people don't speak that way, And so I do a lot of videos where I show them how the real world sounds in English, right? So when you speak to your clients, just slow down a little, and really pronounce words so they understand. The second thing I notice is that they'll say yes or agree to everything, and they don't understand. Don't ask them, do you understand, like 2-3 times. And just because they say yes 2-3 times, you think they understand. So in my class, when I want to check that they understood, I give them a task, right? Or I said, write the steps. Or I'll write the steps for them and say, do you understand each step? What does this step say? What does this step say? Sometimes our international clients need us to break things down. We're so used to it, we take it for granted, right? Sometimes they'll ask me a question and I think, oh, I hadn't thought about that. I just do it normally. I mean, it just comes naturally, right? So we take a lot for granted, but when we speak to clients who does not have English as their first language, it's really important to stop and make sure that what you're asking them to sign, they understand what it means. They can't just walk away from a contract. They can't just say, I don't want this house. Can I get my money back? Can I get my due diligence fee back? Can I get my down payment back or whatever, right? And then you tell them, no, you can't. Then they blame you, right? Because they didn't understand in the beginning, right? So be very, very careful with that language. So we know that it's been said in America, separate business from religion, right? But we know that in a lot of cultures, religion is a big part of the daily life, the way they live. So this question, how does religion and spirituality impact buyers and sellers in the real estate industry?
I can talk about as far as I'm a Middle Eastern. In the Middle East, every country have different belief and different ways they do things. And also when you minimize that, it goes by the family, how they deal with it. Sometimes the society, the country says something, but family do different things. So we have to be a secret agent also when you're working with our client, really know what's going on. Look at their Facebook, look at their social media, Google them, seriously. Do that because you will know what they like, how they interact, what kind of pictures they post. So this way you have some ideas before even you go and talk to them. In general, I would say you always have to respect your client, say hello, how are you, shake hands. Do not offer your hands when you go with the Middle Eastern people, especially if this guy is involved. If he is okay with him, he will bring his hands out, but don't go, because I have seen some people, they go and then they don't shake hands, and then it feels like, oh my God, it was awkward. Sometimes with this kind of stuff, you have to watch it. Watch out when you're talking, even though people think the guys make a decision in Middle East, trust me, they don't. It is a facade. They create it, is that correct? It's a facade they create, but really the woman is make sure. Sometimes women, they don't say anything, the guys, because he's paying the money and doing everything. You be always, I'm talking about the women, guys be with the guys. Be always next to the wife, next to the woman, take care of her, look, give her eye contact. Are you like, he's gonna say, yes, this is good. You go and talk to her. So everything's good. She has to trust you. If she doesn't like you, you're not gonna close any deal. Okay? The way you dress, you go. Watch out how you dress up, okay? You have to be very professional. I don't care, it's 100 degrees outside, you gotta dress professionally. You can just dress for a minute and then go in the car and then take off everything. But watch out how you interact. This kind of stuff, when you are respecting them, when you know a little bit about them, this trust is gonna come and they're gonna do client with you. Every person, I think they know at least 10 agents. Why they have to come work with you? You don't know their language, you don't interact with them, they don't know you well, why do you have to go? The only way they come work with you because they like you. And being likable is hard, you gotta work on it. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, again, I'm talking in the context of Indian buyers and Indian background. India is a country of so many different languages. States, India is not a country, by the way, it's a continent. It has got 28 states and 8 union territories. And there are 22 different languages spoken in India. So Hindi is spoken in 6, 7 or maybe up to 10 states, but I'm from the very south, Kerala, like Yuna was telling. So we speak a language. If I go another 50 miles to next state, it's a totally different language. Different writing, different everything. So I get clients from all over India, of course. And I know 3 to 4 languages, but not all the languages. So the universal language is, as you know, it's a smile. You know, if you smile at somebody, whatever their language is, that's the beginning of opening the doors. So when I talk to somebody from Assam, for example, one of the states, and I don't know the language, but you know, you can understand, you know, from the there's a common behavior pattern of, you know, everybody in India, kind of, you know, that's my assumption. So understanding that, and also respecting the religions. I'm a Christian. There are not, it's only 2.5% Christians in India. Others are 70% Hindus, 15% Muslims. So when a lot of the buyers may be Hindus, and I know basically what, you know, that they want facing it, so they prefer north or northeast, west, northwest, then only south. That's the least preferred. And also in each house, God and prayer room, God is given such a, you know, such a position. That's what they look, even before they look at the master bedroom. Where can we have our puja room? Puja room is a prayer room. It doesn't have to be a room, it can be a closet, but it has to be in a certain direction. For example, the northeast, you cannot have your master bedroom because that's God's place. You know, that again, this may be according to one segment of the people. So this kind of details and honoring that, oh, you know, we need a puja room, you know, instead of, oh, why, I mean, in the beginning I used to, why don't, this is a beautiful house, why don't it, no, we need it that way. So next time you respect that and you tell them, you know, this is facing like this, or this is where you can have your, or when you are custom building a home, reminding them, hey, we need to build a, in Toll Brothers, for example, they had a laundry downstairs. Many houses in Toll, we took the laundry up and made puja room there. So helping them, whether building or buying, making them feel that you care. I mean, it's not an artificial care. You have to genuinely care because you know that's your life. Your client is your life. So if you get that trust, then like every one of us are talking about, you know, then they will spread the word. I have buyers. I have a buyer in Florida, an investor. I have bought 7 homes for him. He has before he sold, he hasn't seen any of the 7 homes. But he told me, Joe, if you think if you have money, you will buy that house, then buy that home. In other words, if I believe in a house, he's okay with that. And so far, thank God, we have been, all of them are done.
And that's an example of trust. Okay, so this was question number 5, so I'd like to open it up to the audience for a couple of questions. Okay.
Katrina from Taylor Morrison. I deal with a lot of cultural buyers. In fact, Taylor Morrison sells 70% to international buyers. And so this has been fascinating. Thank you very much for everything you're sharing with us. My question is this. I've spent a lot of time in India, actually, in Kerala. The most beautiful sunset ever happens in Kerala. When we are in front of an international buyer, is it appropriate for us to ask questions in order to really fully understand what the needs are? And I don't mean question like, do you want a bedroom downstairs with its own bath? I mean like vastu questions, where they would want to put a prayer closet. Are we able to, would that be offensive or is that being sensitive?
Surely, you know, they will know that somebody's looking into that. That's positive.
They will tell you what they want. Let them talk first. Let them talk first, and it's just, by the way, how about this? How about that? I would love to know about these things. But let them be the one in charge. You're just there to assist them.
What if we had, just last on that part right there, what if we had language services, like an interpreter, available if they're coming into our office without a realtor? If we have some language services, would that be helpful?
Yeah, I mean, you need to understand them what they're talking about.
And they need to understand us?
And then especially when it comes to the form and legal matters, we need to make sure that because of the code of ethic, we have to make sure we
Or even equally or better will be suggesting that they bring one of their friends.
Okay.
So who knows, you know, what?
Yeah.
Okay. Teresa?
Yes, thank you. How do you, how do you deal with, because in America, well, in our area, the first question that we are supposed to ask, besides, after you deal with agency, is pre-qualification. And the customs, different customs, so how do you approach that when because you don't want to insult to say, well, can you afford it, before, but how do you deal with that, because it could be involved paying all cash, it could involve some financing, because, here it's different with the interest, usury, that type thing. So how do you deal with that when you first initially meet that client of, how are you gonna pay for this?
So I can answer. So it depends on your role. If you are the listing agent, then you probably ask the buyer agent. The buyer agent, the first thing to do is to make sure you pre-qualify, introduce the lender before you drive them around. But if you actually working with a foreign buyer yourself, then you are not going to tell them, hey, can you afford it? But like, oh, are you working with any lender? You are from New York, or you're from California. Who is your lender? Maybe I can just make sure they have the North Carolina license. So indirect approach will be always better than just tell them, show me your proof of fund, or you're paying cash. Make sure it's US dollar. No, so you don't do that.
I think there was a hand here, and then you're next.
I've run into problems with the houses facing certain ways, and also the numbers on houses. I think it was a Chinese, they actually changed it. Twin Lakes, they couldn't have a 4 as the last number. And that's what I'm looking for from this group, is what direction our houses cannot be, and if there is a number on the house. Cause I've run into that and I'm like, obviously we don't have that in the United States because they wouldn't be numbered that. And you can't have all the houses facing every way except for this one. I mean, that just doesn't work here. So those are just some, what direction can it not be? I don't know if it's different between China and India.
We are totally opposite. We love north facing, south facing. So anything Joe Matthews' client don't want. So if you have a north facing, south facing, call the Chinese realtor or Asian realtor, because I'm not talking about just China, but it's even Taiwan, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, because for them, in the past, they don't expect like people in United States, oh, you turn on your AC 24 hours, that's wasting utility. Because back home, they don't have central AC, so they are basing on the airflow, and more important, the feng shui about the number. We don't want anything fall. Fall means death.
Right.
But they like, so that's why we were just telling you, depends on, because 50% of the Chinese or the descendant, even Taiwanese, Hong Kongese, they don't like fall. This is universal. So fall means death.
So I'm looking at the time.
Yes.
So I think what would be helpful for our realtors would be for us to maybe provide a document that shows the culture and the specific preferences for like location, direction, special features, numbers. I think that would be helpful because we couldn't go over every culture right now.
There is a book out there, Kiss Bow.
Kiss bow or shake hands.
Shake hands, get it from Amazon, that's
I
very
was
useful.
going to,
Or
So-
yes.
can I
Yes.
just, guys, I know you all have a lot of questions and you have time, but I promise that I would ask her. Go ahead. One more.
Hi, how are you? So I have a question, if it's okay, probably, sometimes, I run into clients and if it's a different culture, of course I am a different culture as well, and I also speak another language, but, if it's okay, if we refer, for example, if we don't have in our firm somebody that can translate, or, if it's okay, just to, like, I know Hannah, let me introduce you with Hannah, and I refer you to her, but I don't wanna be offensive, because I don't want them to feel that I don't wanna help them. It's just because the language barrier.
I think that's a good one. I think you're doing it good for your clients,
Yeah.
but you would tell your clients that my colleague in my team You work together and she speak your language, I think it's gonna be great if you work with them, but I'm gonna be next to you, by your side. It's not like I'm giving you to somebody else and bye-bye. You have to make them feel good that you are still in the process, you will know what's going on, and you have contact with the other agent that you're referring to. So this way they know that because of you they came to buy a house or sell a house. So you need to be present in the transactions.
I saw another hand there, but can you save your question for the end, for the next time around? Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so, cause we have other questions we need to ask the panelists. Don't forget your question though. What are some misconceptions or misunderstandings, that we can be aware of when working with international clients?
I can say like, same thing, like she mentioned that too, like Middle East, and then there's the huge misconception here in the United States about Middle East. You know, all those different countries in Middle East, they all have different cultures, beliefs, religions, so we automatically go there in our heads, and then we offend them. So I think, again, it's just learn, do some research. Just because all those countries are close to each other in the same geography doesn't mean they have the same cultures, they have the same beliefs. It's very much different. And sometimes it's even harder for them to express that they are different than the others. So you have to understand, you have to be deeper. Like she said, you've got to do some research. What they're showing even on social media might not match what their real life is in their house, because they have to hide it. Because if they don't, something else might happen. So you really have to understand, and you have to take that extra step.
Okay. So these next two questions are similar. It has to do with the legal and ethics that we adhere to here, and cultural sensitivity. So how do you balance these two? When if cultural sensitivity clashes with your ethics or local laws or anything, how do you balance those?
And we have to educate ourselves. We have wonderful at home with diversity, Fairhaven, what else? Bias, all those goodies that NAR is offering, our association is offering. You all make sure to have it and you're up to date, because a few months something new comes up. We want to be aware of it. We have to know what's going on. You guys we have to remember, we are the ambassador, especially what's happening now. All the eyes outside is on us. So you make sure you know what is right to do, because at the end, that client is gonna refer you to somebody, and more people, or is gonna report you. So you watch out what you're doing. Just educate yourself, educate your clients in a nice way. And sometimes that's how they brought up. They don't know better. They don't know the difference. They haven't seen those type of people. They haven't seen those kind of religions. You just have to educate them in a nice way, and then tell them that you are like them before when you started it, and then you educate yourself. You're in a different society, different century. So I think being patient and try to explain everything to them nicely with a smile, I think is gonna be the key.
Yeah, and also tell them all these things are put together for their own, their own good in the long term. Their property is going to be safe, it is, legally protected, and so it's not, it may look cumbersome now. Just like the pre-qualification, we were going back to that, when you explain the process and when we submit the offer, you need a pre-qualification. So it's not like I am asking you, we need that for the process, so that, because we are going to give due diligence money, which is not refundable. If you don't qualify, you lose that money. So it is for the positive side is that it is for your own good, but we need to go through all these steps, pre-qualification and verification and all that.
Okay. And the last question, what are some effective strategies or approaches for realtors to expand the client base of international customers?
Get your CIPS, Certified International Property Specialist. We are fortunate in North Carolina that we have a good number of agents. Every year they become designee, so we're trying every year to increase that. You can take it locally or you can take it through Zoom. You gotta commit, it's a few days process, but you gotta get educated little by little to different culture, different background, and they have a wonderful network among themselves that they do referrals. When you go to the special national meetings, they have a special educations, and it's just different level. When you talk about international student, that doesn't mean you have to go to the England or Germany to sell something. That means you're gonna have a German people or somebody from England that you know how to deal with them. And sometimes is our agents sometimes misunderstand that, oh my goodness, I don't speak that language, I don't look like that, so I cannot serve them. That's not like that. So if you know what you're doing, the client is gonna come to you, and then this way that you can both can benefit from each other.
And also practically there are so many functions going on. Every weekend you have an Indian function. At the temple, there are 4 temples here. Cultural, kids activity. I mean, just go for there are a lot of open air like picnics and cricket and I mean, lately I don't go for all this, but I used to go. It is good if you are getting into that market. It is good to go for the functions, and people are going to come and talk to you, and you can say you're a realtor. I mean, something, you may get 1 client out of that, and out of that 1 client, you may get 10 more clients.
Okay.
I would suggest that, start with your own neighborhood, your community, your children's school. So people will know you because they see you every week, every day. So they will observe who you are. So I also started from my daughter's school, and then from my church, and from my neighborhood. I sold 9 houses in my neighborhood. So I just want people to, know, people you were watching, they are watching how long you've been. The first 2-3 years, no one wants to be the guinea pig. But they're watching it, you're growing. When they need, they will ask you. And then at the end, even they don't sell, they will refer your friends. So just like make sure you are a giver. Wherever you go, share your knowledge, post it in your social media. Hey, what is a good restaurant, good school? Just be someone who always share the good information and celebrate North Carolina. You guys all sign up to be the North Carolina ambassador and economic development, because we are going to bring jobs. Every house we sold, we create 70 jobs. So you guys are so important. So we want to let you know we are the community maker, builder. So I'm just very happy, we can change life.
Do you want to add any tips?
What was the question again?
Just tips and strategies for working with international clients.
Well, I would just say,
Just a final tip.
Well, just what Joe was saying, just being a part of the international community, just going to different events and festivals and things like that, and just like she said, working in your community, even if it's at the grocery store, squeezing oranges and knocking on watermelons. So just very simple like that. Just very simple things. When you're taking a walk, I stopped and talked to somebody today. That's from yesterday. That's from New York. Stopping and talking to people, even in your neighborhood. Then you think, oh wow, I'm selling my house. Okay, let's talk.
Yeah.
So just even taking a walk with your dog, whatever, just connect with people. You can't keep walking past people and say, that you want to connect.
Thank you. And how did you give your last tip?
I mean, just a plus of that, also the kids. I mean, with my own experience, the kids and that. So it's just many parents are obviously they will be more happy if you take care of their kids, if you pay attention to their kids, rather than I don't need you to talk to me and satisfy me, but if you are nice to my kid, or same thing, if you're an animal lover and you have, taking a walk, if someone's a cute dog. So try to make connection every chance that you have. That's what you're supposed to do. It's all about connection. We always said, people like you, they trust you, they feel like they know you, and then you'll be the one. Doesn't matter even if you don't speak the language, doesn't matter if you don't share the same religion. But that kindness, just getting to know them and trying to connect them. You're doing whatever you can, and that's all that matters. Just knowing that, I think it just the key is right there.
Excellent. And my tip, I give all my buyers a gift basket, a welcome home gift basket. But they're surprised to see the things in the basket. It's things they've told me they like throughout my visit with them. So something for every member of the family. There's a child, a dog, a husband. There's something in that basket for each person. And they're just so surprised. Like, how did you know? But you told me. When we were talking, when we were having coffee, we met 3 times. Each time I asked you a question and we were just having a conversation, but I was taking notes, right? And that's how I give birthday presents and Christmas presents. It's always something you want, right? And so if you want to give something to your buyer, pay attention to what, don't give them a bottle of wine if they don't drink. What are they gonna do with it, right? And so, pay attention. So I want to start with you for the last 5 minutes. Questions?
So my question is centered around international sellers. I'm working with an international seller right now. One of the questions on our listing agreement is, are you a foreign person? So is there a delicate way to ask that question without offending someone? And then the second part of the question is, do you rely on the client to provide you documentation to support that, or do you rely on the closing attorney to generate or get the document?
I think in that form they want to know, are you a green card holder or citizen, or you just visiting? Because this way, as far as the money part of it, they're gonna question it as the legal matters. So I think it's nice to, yeah, and it's just nicely, I don't think they're gonna get offended. It's nicely, I just wanna know, guys, citizen or green card holder, is it okay to ask them?
And it doesn't say green card or citizen, it says foreign person.
Yeah, but then you have to ask them like that, and then you get it out of them, so what they're gonna respond. And this way they don't feel defended.
I deal with this kind of situation a lot because a lot of the Chinese or Asian, they came here because the daughter come here to study, and they buy a house, so for them to study, and then graduate, they need to sell. So you already expected because, hey, why you are selling the house? Oh, because my daughter graduated now, she moved to New Jersey for fellowship or, internship. Then you just like, okay, then I assume you are a visitor. So just because you need to make sure she consult with the CPA. I don't have a license to give you any tax or CPA information, but just want you to know at the end, at the closing, the attorney will ask you, please provide your social security information. So if they don't have social security, they will need to withhold required by the law, okay? So that's why.
This seller is actually in Vietnam, they're not even physically here.
Okay, so
They are a foreign person.
Yeah, they're not.
So that's why they are not even here, because if you engage them with a CPA, so as soon as they close, the CPA already working with them to get the process, to get the withholding back. Because you don't tell them, hey, it's the tax, because America, they don't want you to make 100,000 or 1 million, don't pay tax and go back to Vietnam or anywhere. So you just need to make sure they know to engage a CPA before closing to start the process. Otherwise, hey, where's my, they will withhold like either 20, 25% or whatever. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
That's valid.
I just wanted to add, I'm a CPA, so the
Okay.
first question. Yeah, the social security, do you have social security number? If you do not, you get ITIN number. Because if you do not do that, as soon as you will sell the house, the attorney will hold 30% of it. To get the money back, you have to do ITIN, and then you do a 1042 to get that money back and send it to me.
how much you charge for that?
I'm a certified IRS agent, you just come with a passport, anybody who buying the houses, come with a passport and we get the ITIN number within like 6 weeks.
So how much you charge? 1,500?
Let's stick within topic.
Yeah, I'm not a realtor, I'm a home inspector, but I just wanna know how important for you is to have a bilingual home inspector.
How important is it to have a bilingual?
It's very useful because it's good to communicate, and since this kind of, they maybe do inspection, the other countries, they don't do it this way. So they wanna know the process and they're gonna bug you and ask you 100,000 questions, but that's why way it is. But if you know the language and you can communicate with them, they will love it.
We have 34 inspectors in the company, some of them are from outside, and I speak Spanish, so I'm always trying to help people with stuff, because I know that there's a lot of realtors that don't speak Spanish, and there's a lot of Spanish people coming over here. So I'm always hoping to help everybody.
Oh, wonderful.
So,
Okay, so have your business card and then have your business card. Are there any, I'll take one, okay, 2 more questions and then we wanna be on time. So it's 1 o'clock now, so make a question short. I mean, 11 o'clock now. 11 o'clock now. Okay,
Yeah.
you wanna ask a question?
So I work with Eastwood Homes, I work with a builder, and you talked about building relationships with your clients. What are some ways, sometimes I have clients that come in that have a realtor and don't have a realtor. Sometimes the realtor kind of runs the show a little bit. So what are ways that I can build relationship with the realtor as well as the client?
Nice to be a realtor.
Yeah.
Any realtor wants to answer that?
I mean, I don't think it's any different. You know, in general, you know, treat them like we're all person. Like, it doesn't matter what they are. Like, just treat us like a person. I mean, it all goes back to respect, and I think we all mentioned, like, we all know, like, that's why we all love America. That's why we all came here. You know, we can do things that we were not able to do back at home. We get the respect that we think that everyone deserves. So, like, just treat them, you know, kindly. And I think, you know, in our general lives, you know, yes, we have a lot of things comes into place. You're stuck in traffic, you're late, you gotta go. So, you know, a lot of things add to, you know, our stress, and we actually forget our real purpose in life. That, you know, like, we're supposed to just be here and enjoy the life and enjoy each other. Especially at these days, it's just it's so much easier to get to know other people from other, you know, cultures and traveling and all that. You know, just basically, again, just get to know them, treat them nice. People can see it, people can feel it, we all do. And someone is talking to you, you already know, you know. Doesn't matter what you call it sometimes. Hey, I get that good vibe or error, whatever.
Body
you call it,
language,
doesn't
watch
matter,
out for
right?
body language.
So that's what it is, just, you know, just treat them nice.
Wait in the back.
Yeah, body language is very important. Even sometimes you don't talk, but your body can say so many things in a nice way or not in a nice way. And especially, I think, some reason I think the immigrant are a little bit more sensitive because they're immigrant. So that's interaction. You don't have to talk. You just the way you respond with your body that can say a lot. But,
I would say sometimes when a realtor comes in, and I do try and protect my clients.
Yeah, right.
Because sometimes they don't speak English well, or they speak, but they don't understand. So sometimes the new home builders are trying to get them to go with their lender. And so I'm saying, they already have a lender, I'm bringing them in. And so sometimes I try to protect them. So I think taking the realtor to the side and having a conversation with her and say, how can I better serve them? And how can I connect with them? And because they would know their buyer. And so going that route. And so sometimes it's not like they're running the show, but they're trying to do their job. And some of us maybe can get overboard. They're trying to protect, they're trying to protect their client and trying to make sure that their client feels safe. So if their actions in the meeting make their clients feel safe, that's their job, and that's what they're trying to do. So I think talking with the realtor on the side and just saying, hey, how can I better serve? You know, I realize they didn't really say a lot. How can I better connect with them? You know, I think that might be.
And then one last question.
I don't think, what I'm trying to say, it's not a question as much as a statement. I'm Tony Nojo, and I'm Nigerian, and I work with a lot of international clients. And what I hear from the questions that a lot of you guys are asking is that you're afraid to offend. And I think most people on the panel will agree with me that a lot of other cultures were very thick-skinned, right? So we're not easily offended. And at the end of the day, you gotta do your job. So, you know, it's saying, proof of funds, how are you gonna pay for this? We can't be afraid to ask them, are you pre-approved? Are you qualified? Those are questions that you have to ask because that's part of servicing your client. So we can't be afraid to service them because they're different. That's actually a form of prejudice if you do that. Because, and there's one thing that you mentioned that I wanted to, you said something about when you're teaching class, sometimes you tell them, write this down. If you're talking to an African, if you say that, that would offend them. And the reason being is because you're assuming that they can't remember. So it's very important at the end of the day to understand the culture that you're working with and not assume that, you know, I gotta thread lightly
because we're just as smart as every culture in this world, especially with social media. Everybody's globally exposed. We all know what's going on in every country. So it's not like we come here and we're like total strangers and we don't know what's going on. So just do your job, be comfortable, ask the hard questions. But I think at the end of the day, when people are gonna understand compassion. So if we're all human and we treat everybody the way you would want to be treated, regardless of the culture, I think everybody would understand that. That's the language that's really going to come across.
That's it.
Makes sense. Good.
And with that, it's a good way to wrap up. And I want to thank the panel Here's Michelle. Okay, here's Michelle. Thank Michelle for coordinating. And we're dismissed. Thank you, everyone, for coming.